What's going on, guys and girls? Today on TLK Outdoors, we're going to show you how to take squirrel eggs and turn it into a tongue-tingling treat that'll have you coming back for seconds in no time. So if you're new to the sport or a seasoned hunter like myself, maybe this recipe will help you out in the kitchen a little bit with them small furry animals that you get on your next hunt. So stay tuned and we'll have the recipe coming for you right here on TLK Outdoors. So on today's menu, we're actually going to be whipping up some buffalo squirrel eggs. Paired with that today, we're going to be making some, you see it correctly, jalapenos and some bacon. You already know what's about to go down, boys and girls. We're fixing to make some bacon wrapped, cheddar stuffed jalapeno poppers. The first thing you want to do with your squirrel eggs is you're going to want to tenderize them overnight a little bit in a little bit of a salt brine. So all that's going to consist of is a little bit of warm water and some salt. You're going to let that soak overnight, and what that's going to do, that's going to help draw that blood out and help get rid of that gaminess overnight. So then after you take it out of the fridge and you get ready to cook it, you're going to go ahead and take yourself probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now what that's going to do is the acid from the lemon juice is going to help break that down a little bit more. It's going to help give it a little bit more of a tangier flavor in the finished product. And then you're also going to want to take a little bit of milk. And once again, all this does is, you know, it's kind of a substitute. The acid from the lemon and the fat from the milk, you know, you break that down and it makes kind of like a buttermilk. And all we're doing is we're gonna mix that up in there real good, and we're just you know, gonna let that soak in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, not much, you know, maybe a teaspoon or so, I'm sorry, and about a teaspoon or so of pepper as well. You know, we're just gonna let that sit and we're gonna let that marinate for a few minutes. You're going to want to get your breading mixture made up while that's marinating. So what I have here is a little bit of all-purpose flour and one of my favorite barbecue rubs. This happens to be Country Bob's, straight from one of our favorite barbecue places down in Paris, Tennessee. Trollinger's to be exact. You ought to check them out. They got some world-class pulled pork down there and some world-class yard bird. Anybody that don't know what yard bird is, I hope you do, but if you don't, that's chicken. But what we're going to do, we're going to take the lid off. We're going to put about a tablespoon of our favorite barbecue rub in there. Mix it together. It'll just help season up the squirrels a little bit. All right. Then we're going to take some panko breadcrumbs, and what this is going to do is going to help crisp up the outer layer of that squirrel, give you a nice crisp bite when you're biting into it. Give you a nice crisp texture. If you're like me, you're one of those people that, you know, you like a nice crisp finish to any of your, you know, buffalo products, whether it be, you know, buffalo wings, squirrel eggs, you know, whatever your desire may be. By the way, that's about you know, maybe about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of panko and about 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You just want to make sure you have plenty of breading. You know, you can't ever have too much, but you know, sometimes you don't have enough and you gotta make more, and this will just help make sure I don't have to make any more. What you're gonna do is you're gonna crack 2 eggs on here. Like so. Get our eggs cracked. These eggs were fresh from the chicken, by the way, some farm fresh butt nuggets. Just gonna whisk our eggs down a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of milk to our egg mixture. Not much, just a little bit. Go Go ahead and whisk it down a little bit more. Until you get yourself a, where it's almost pale in color. And then for our poppers, while our oil's, finishing heating up here, we're gonna make a beer battered jalapeno popper. That's right, make a beer battered jalapeno popper. And what you're gonna want for that, you're gonna want a good binder. So 2 more eggs for your flour. This is about 2 cups of all-purpose flour. A little bit more of your barbecue rub. About a tablespoon, maybe a little more. We're gonna take your favorite beer. For me, that's out of the boys from Pottsville, Pennsylvania, the world's oldest brewery. You got it, Yuengling Lager. We're gonna go ahead and I'll pour about half the bottle in here. Notice it fizz up there, nice and frothy there. We're gonna take our whisk. We're just gonna go ahead and whisk her down. And what you're looking for is you're looking for about a pancake batter consistency. Now we're gonna go ahead and prep our pinos. So you're gonna wanna take your jalapenos here, cut them straight down the middle. Try to reserve the stem if you can, because that's gonna help you get it in your oil a little bit easier without burning yourself. You're going to want to take your seeds. Easiest way is take a spoon here. Take your seeds. You're going to want to scoop your seeds out. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your favorite block cheddar cheese and kind of measure out what you're going to need here. Get your block cheddar in there. Cut her down a little bit more here. Place your block cheddar in your 2 halves like so. Now what you're going to want to do is take some bacon. You already know what's fixing to happen. You're going to take your bacon. You're going to wrap your bacon around like so. Make sure to tuck your cheese in there nice and snug. For these bigger jalapenos, you're probably going to need 2 slices here because these are some pretty stout jalapeno peppers. Just make sure you fill in all your cracks and crevices. You don't want your cheese coming out there. All right, so we're pretty set on that one. We'll come back to the peppers here shortly. But now while we have our oil heated up for our squirrel, we're going to take our squirrel over here. Let's move our peppers over here to the side. We're going to take our squirrel, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our marinated squirrel, and we're just going to dip it and dredge it in the flour here. Now we have 4 of our squirrel legs here dredged in some flour. And it is a little bit of a messy situation here when you do this, so that is something to keep in mind. It isn't the cleanest of preps, but I promise you the result afterwards will have your tongue tingling. You're going to dip it in some egg here, a little bit of an egg wash, and then immediately into the panko. You want to get immediately into your panko. Get that nice crust going there. Grab a paper towel out here, and I have a small kitchen counter. I do apologize for that. So now that we have our squirrel legs and our poppers prepped up here, what you're going to want to do now is take your squirrel legs and gently, and you want to lay them away from you, not toward you, to avoid any splashing. You're going to gently place your squirrel legs in about 375 to 400 degree oil. Like I said, you're just going to gently place them in here. Make sure to lay them away from you, not toward you. Helps avoid any of that splashing coming toward you. And I usually use a large skillet so I can fit, you know, 8 legs in here pretty comfortably. That way I'm not overcrowding. All right. And while those are going on, we're going to take our poppers here and we're just going to dip them into our batter. Go ahead and use the fork here from the squirrels. We're going to dip them into our batter. Get a generous batter in there. And the same with these. We're going to slowly put these into our oil. You want 400 to 415 degree oil. You're going to slowly put them in there like so. Might be able to get one more in there. You're going to let those go for about 4 or 5 minutes. Not overly long. Try to make sure your bacon don't unwrap here. Generous amount of batter on there. Just get her in there and get her going around. All right. You see our squirrel legs, we probably got the oil up a little too high here. Our squirrel legs. Look at that, boys and girls. Look at that. Look at that. You cannot deny that. Look at that crisp brown crust there on them squirrel legs. The important thing when doing these, just like any other meat that you're frying up, you want to make sure they're at room temperature. That's very important. That'll ensure that they cook evenly. That'll ensure you don't come out with a undercooked product, and more importantly, you know, the cooking factor comes into play. When you're dealing with anything that's cold or frozen in the middle, you know, you get that popping where the grease is wanting to pop out at you. Well, that's that water content wanting to separate and heating up real quick, and that's where you get that oil splash from. So while we have our squirrel going on right here, we're gonna make up our sauce real quick. And quickly, all we're gonna do is add 2 tablespoons of melted butter, about a clove of garlic, I cheat with the buffalo sauce. I use Sweet Baby Ray's. Don't knock it till you try it. We'll go ahead and give ourselves a generous squeeze in here. Now I like to give it a little bit of tang. A little bit of a tongue tickle here with the sriracha sauce. All right. We'll take that, we'll whisk it together. Now our squirrel legs are ready to be tossed. I'm gonna let these last 2 poppers finish up here. These squirrel legs are, you know, they're nice and strained off now. Listen to this. You hear that, folks? You hear that crisp? Nice and crispy. We're gonna go ahead and toss them in here. We're gonna sauce our squirrel legs up here. Get them nice and saucy. Toss them around here a little bit. Well, I think we'll just do the traditional wing toss here. What do you think? We'll get all 8 of them in here and we'll just give it the old traditional wing toss. Look at that, folks. Look at that. Play them up here. All Right, and our last couple poppers coming along pretty nice here. I think they're about ready to come out. What do you guys think? They look pretty good to me. We'll go ahead and pull these guys out here, let them strain off. While they're cooling down, we're going to take 3 of our previously made poppers here. I'm going to go ahead and pair them up here with our squirrel eggs, just like so. Look at that, boys and girls. Man, you can't get any better than that. Let's grab a knife here. We'll go ahead and slice into one of these, show you what we're working with. Right, let's give these guys a taste test here real quick. Start with these squirrel eggs. They eat right off the bone, folks. Breading's a little bit loose, but I'll tell you what, overall, that's a good bite. Man, you can't beat that. Let's go ahead and give one of these poppers a shot here. What do you say? Dip it in that sweet and sour sauce here. Got that bacon, got that cheese in there. I'll tell you what, guys. I don't like to talk of food in my mouth, but that there, tell you what, you don't go back for more with this. You either just don't like food, or there might even be something wrong with you, because this is some good eating right here, boys and girls. Can't beat it. I like to chase it down with my favorite beverage here. You got a meal right there, boys and girls. You got a meal fit for a king. 2 squirrels, 4 legs each, obviously. Buffalo wing sauce. Got some jalapeno poppers on the side. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Like it, subscribe. Go ahead and share this with your friends and family. Maybe even got some fellow hunters that are looking for some good squirrel recipes. This might just be right up their alley. But like I said, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And until then, boys and girls, we'll see you on the next one.